Dave here from Amplify, and I'm talking to Will Day. Hello, Will. How are you going?
G'day, Dave. I'm well. How are you, mate?
Good, good, good. Okay,
Awesome.
so let's start off, Will. Uh, you are a country artist, country music artist. Uh, have you always wanted to be a country music artist? Did you grow up? Did you grow up? Going through school thinking about, can't wait to get through and get to Tamworth and belt it out.
No, not really, mate. It wasn't until probably, I guess, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I turned to country music. I started playing guitar in my hometown of Gundawindi, which is in southeast Queensland in the country.
Gunsin territory.
Gunsin territory. There's a statue on the McIntyre River, mate. Yeah. Look, I mean, started playing guitar when I was 14 and singing, but I was playing like Cat Stevens songs and Paul Kelly songs and Joni Mitchell songs, this sort of stuff. That's what my parents are listening to.
Yeah,
And I got into my modern country later on, Garth Brooks, Keith Urban, Alan Jackson, that kind of thing.
yeah,
I didn't kind of start creating country music until, like I said, late teens, but when I went and studied a music degree. But I was playing in venues in my hometown by the time I was 15, playing gigs in pubs. So, in a way, I was sitting there at school thinking, yep, I wish I was playing a gig or playing music. Maybe not country, but that came later. Yeah.
So how long's it been? How long you reckon you've been treading the boards?
I've been treading the boards for more than 20 years now, I guess, or about 20 years. So,
And when did you first hit Tamworth?
2013 was my first Tamworth. Yep.
Okay,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
doing
yeah.
doing talent quest and that kind of thing. So,
For
um,
those listening, Tamworth's sort of the Nashville, I suppose, of country music here. That's where it all happens every year, and it's a big event, big country event.
it is, yeah, considered. I mean, country music capital, as you know, in Australia.
Yeah,
And it's kind of it's a home of country music. So, I guess a lot of artists sort of start out there, and there's lots of avenues to start out in Tamworth. That's the good thing about Tamworth. You can busk, you can go on talent quest right up to, doing your own shows or playing, the main
yeah,
stage, that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
it's great. It's a good
I,
time.
I got a bit of a special connection there. I ran away from home in 1972. So I was
Okay.
14 and I caught two planes under an assumed name. And I went up to Gunnedah, which is only,
Yep.
40, 50 miles from
Yep.
Tamworth, because my cousins were up there,
Uh-huh.
and got a job at the abattoirs. So
There you
I
go.
did it again a year later because, I was sort of rebelling against my Marine father.
Okay.
But anyway, so I know Tamworth a bit. Um, so the journey, tell us a little bit about the journey because basically, there's everyone makes. Actually, I was talking to Steve Kilby the other day.
Mhm.
He's done about 20 solo albums, and the church has done about 30, albums. So,
Yep.
and obviously, as you're doing music in your music career, things change.
Mm.
The outside
Mm.
world changes, but the inside world changes too because you change the way that you perform, or you change the way that you deal with stuff, or maybe you add something in terms of the show, a few other people, so you've got a different sort of connection. Tell us a bit about your journey over that, period.
Yeah, it's a good question. For me, it was always about when I was just, like I said, starting out playing in pubs in my hometown. Then when I moved to Brisbane to study a music degree, that was a big part of my journey. It was me and my guitar playing solo, and I did that for tread the boards, as you called it earlier. I did that playing solo covers gigs for 5 nights a week for 15 years or nearly 15 years, And really, to be honest with you, I finished uni. I just wanted to make a living from playing music, full
Sure,
stop.
sure.
And
Wedding band,
yeah,
Italian wedding band.
I did a few weddings. Wedding
No, no,
band.
no. I'm saying it's the
Yeah,
old Italian wedding band thing. They're the people that make the most out of money because they get paid good
yeah,
money
yeah,
to play at the wedding. So
yeah. That's
doing
right.
covers and all that sort of stuff's paying the bills.
Pretty much paid and playing other people's songs paid the bills for a lot of years for me, and I've got no regrets. I'm actually really, it was a big long apprenticeship. So you talk about journey, it's been slow for me, but we're all on
Yeah,
our own. But in terms of the journey, I mean, that really helped me hone my craft. And to be honest with you, if you get out and sing that much for many many years, if you're singing correctly, your voice, you're crafting an instrument that will last for a
sure,
long time. So
sure.
that was a lot of it's about performance craft and stamina and sustainability and musicianship and artistry.
Yeah,
Some of the words that come to mind. And then really in the last, let's say 7, 8, 9 years since I started playing with the band more and touring and playing more events and I don't really do solo shows anymore and I work a day job and when I'm touring it's with a band, it's full on country rock. So I guess for me I've worked up towards that and gone from playing all those solo shows over the years to developing my live show into something I like to be entertaining for people.
yeah,
And high energy, and that's kind of my brand. So I guess that my biggest development journey has been that as a performer has been that from doing that over the years to
yeah,
now. And then, like you said, things change within yourself, but that affects your songwriting as well. And I think this second album I'm writing at the moment, and hopefully release next year, is it's going to be a bit different than my first one. It's a little bit more reflective in a way, I think.
yeah.
I'm still writing a few tunes, so yeah, it's a good question about the journey, mate, because it's really, if I
Well,
look back at, yeah,
I was going to say, I think consciously there's a moment and your connection with it, collaboration with it, and that's all that
yep,
exists your whole life.
that's
One
right.
moment after a moment, and then
Good way to put it.
our conditioning brings in the story time, and basically, then we tell ourselves stories about I've done this for too long. I haven't made a quid. Why is Bill? He's got through, and we went in the same class, and I didn't. I
Yep,
should have bought four houses in 2010 and
yep,
I'd be a million, all this sort of stuff. All these stories come through. The
yep,
fact of the matter is nothing matters in my view because a
yep,
whole lot of it's an illusion. And
yep,
all you've got to do at some stage in your life is find you. And when you find you, you just live from that time
yep,
being you. And so
yep,
you don't look back, you don't look forward, you just deal with it. The only time you look back and forward is to sort of work out how you can use what you did in the past
correct.
and what you have to prepare for in the future. But apart from that, you come back to the moment and you
Yep,
just do what you're doing. And then basically, as a performer,
mm,
music has to be in the moment. If it's not in the moment, you're not really not going to draw in a crowd because basically you're going to
that's
try
right.
and construct something, and the only people that construct something are the people that have 100 million dollars that go on world tours and stick lights and flyers and stages up and down and all that. They might be able to construct a show, but
And there,
everybody else has to do it.
someone said to me once that all those folks that I mean, your top tier, international superstars. Someone said to me, it was actually my vocal teacher many years ago, said they're actually the crust. There's a crust at the top,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
it's minute, right?
yes, yes,
Now under that, guess what? You can make a great living from
yes,
writing, playing,
yeah,
performing music live, and I've done that, and I'm very
sure,
proud of that. And
sure,
I've got goals like all of us. I'm nowhere near where I
sure.
want to be, but I've also you got to, like you said before, for me it's a one foot in front of the other kind of thing always.
Sure. I'm not. I don't subscribe to that comment you made because when you say you're not where you want to be, you're always where you are, and so
Yeah,
where you want to be is a thought,
yeah,
and so that's fine to have objectives,
yeah,
but no moment's going to be different from the moment that you're in now and your potential to
yeah,
collaborate with this moment, in my view. Anyhow,
yeah.
that's
No, I
just
respect of you.
it's
I
getting
respect of
back
you.
getting back
I,
to a bit of consciousness. We get caught up in
yep.
wanting a better moment. But when we get there, it's still another moment we've got to apply ourselves to.
Yeah, yeah, no, I respect of you, but for me, I do subscribe to it.
All right, good,
I subscribe to the fact that I've got goals and
good. Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
achieved a lot of them, and I'm trying to achieve more. So yeah,
Go
it's
crazy.
each of their own.
That's right. Your world, absolutely. The artists that inspired you. Who were the artists that inspired you?
Oh, I always have trouble answering this question, mate. I really do.
Well, who
Because
are the ones? Who are the ones that you sort of looked at the start, and who are the ones you're looking at now?
I mentioned I don't. It's a hard question to answer because you might mention artists like someone like Cat Stevens or Yusuf
Yep,
now, but
yep.
and I'm nothing like I don't write any music, but
No, no.
as a songwriter, that's what I first started listening to when I was
Yes,
14. And
yes,
then it was Aussie stuff like Paul Kelly, and then it was Powderfinger. So I went to this Aussie stage, right?
yes.
and
yes,
I'm nothing like any of those artists, but talking about the journey and the songwriter you become, all of those things kind of play their part, I think.
yeah,
From
yeah,
a country music perspective, as an artist and a performer, it's definitely Keith Urban, and I still listen to Keith Urban religiously. His Ranch album is my favorite album. I still
yeah,
listen to
yeah.
it all the
Okay,
time
yeah,
because the purity of it and the songwriting.
sure. Garth,
And yeah, Garth's a little bit. You can't listen to Garth on Spotify though, as we all know. He
yes,
doesn't exist on Spotify,
yes,
so it's
yes,
very hard. To be honest, it's actually if you don't have a CD, you can't even listen to Garth Brooks.
yes,
Um,
yes.
or unless probably you buy it on iTunes, I guess. But yeah, Keith Urban's been a big one. But look, I'm inspired currently. I think the inspirations change. I'm inspired by artists right now, such as the Wolf Brothers. I love what they do, the way
They're
they go about
great.
things
They're
in
great.
Australian country. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
I love their music and their writing, but I love their work ethic and the way they go about things. So it kind of changes over time, I reckon, mate. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Actually, I spoke to Daz from Powderfinger yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Just by the by. Okay, your latest single, "Life's Highway," it's just been released.
Yep.
What's it about? Is that going to be on the new album?
It's going to be on the new album. It's actually the title track, Dave, which is it's interesting for me. I didn't write this song. I had nothing to do with the writing of this song. It came across in my inbox from Tom Wolfe, who wrote it. Um,
Fantastic.
and I think that's really interesting. And I was talking to someone about this the other day. For me, I don't get too precious about, oh, I've written this song or something. For me, it's about the song and the best foot you can put forward in terms of a release. It just happened that I couldn't write with Nick and Tom at the time last year, and Tom said, "Well, I'll look at what, they were on tour, and they're like, what have we got?" And they found this song from 2016 called "Life's Highway." They wrote with Phil Barton, Brody Rainbird, who's in the
Yeah,
band as well, and Tom and Nick Wolf. And Tom said, "I think it's your vibe." And often when someone sends you a song that you haven't written, it's kind of like I've recorded a few, but often it's really you may not connect with it, but I just did. I connected with this song. He was right. It was my vibe, and it's actually led me to write the rest of the album, which I've been doing, towards kind of a theme around Life's Highway. So it's been interesting, very interesting for me to do it that way. But it's kind of led me to this kind of. It's not a concept album. It's just an idea, a theme, right? Something I wanted to write to. So yeah, that'll be on the album, and that's be the title track to answer your question. So
is
yeah.
that the first single that you've released off it?
It is, mate. Yeah. So
And
I'm recording and still doing some writing as I go. To be honest, I'm an independent artist. That's the way I'm doing it. It's the best way for me to do it
no,
currently.
it's fine, man.
So yeah, I'll hopefully release the album second half of next year
27.
with
Yeah.
a bunch of singles. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll probably release. I presume you'll probably release a few more singles by the time we get to that point. But we
Yeah,
can't
that's
really
right.
we can't really talk about them too much because basically they're not out, so no one will have anything to refer to.
That's right.
So
They
at the
don't
moment,
exist technically.
at the moment, get stuck into Life's Highway or
100%.
the debut album. Go back if you need to listen to more.
Yep.
Go back and listen to the first one again.
100%.
All right. What events you got coming up? I saw you had a few dates, a few scattered dates. What events
Yeah,
you got
it's
coming
been it's been scattered this year mainly because I've been in between release cycles and that kind of thing. I've been doing a lot of events up in Queensland this year, like smaller festivals up here, and really the goal is into next year to do a tour with the album. I'm playing at the Ekka, 150 years at the Ekka. I'm playing at the Doom and Race Day with Jared Wrigley and
Yeah,
Max Jackson as well. And
good.
my final gig for the year will be in November, Launceston Country Music Festival in Tassie. It's kind of worked out fortuitously, Dave, because I've got a few months, probably 2 months. September, I'm recording more in September, September, October to do some writing and recording. So it's been a busier few months on the road the last few months. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of a break, focus on the album, and then hit next year hard. Yeah.
Get over Christmas.
Yeah.
Have you? I presume you've been over to the States and that.
Yeah, I've been to my day job as well as the songwriting led me there. I presented at an academic conference last year, and
Cool.
sorry, the last 2 years at the International Country Music Conference at Belmont Uni as part of my job at James C Academy, and so I hung around and did songwriting as well. So I attended CMA Fest, which is just an eye opener.
Yeah, yeah,
So I've been to Nashville twice. I was going to go over and write for this album, but you know what? I've got some songwriting I've done online with my friends in Nashville, but I've been sort of trying to write with more Aussies where I can as well. We get a lot of
yeah.
talent here. I've just tried to do a little bit more of that, but kind of a mix between Nashville and Australia. But maybe next year or a songwriting trip will be on the cards in the future again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's unique, big numbers over there if you take it, but you've got to try and get along with the orange guy and all that sort of stuff, all the changes.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think with Nashville, if you decide to go and be an artist there, like that's a big leap. But I think what the beauty of the bridge in between Nashville and Tamworth or Australia now has become, it's a lot more achievable for us to create with
Sure,
people and write with people because of
sure,
what you and I are doing right now.
sure, sure,
So from a songwriting perspective, I mean,
sure.
artists being artists over there is a completely different kettle of fish, as everyone knows. But the songwriting is really achievable.
And it's a music place now too. It's not just a country place. It's a
That's right,
it's a
mate.
music
Yeah,
place. They do a lot of all types of music there. It's become a sort of a bit of a music mecca. So it's a
that's right.
destination.
Yeah, it's become almost they call it Music City, but I know that it's kind of taken over from LA in a lot of ways from the music side of things. So which is really cool for all genres.
We get away from all the bullshit that's in
That
LA
that's
and
right. That's
and
right.
all
Yeah,
the busyness in New York. So you sort of
yeah,
you can go on down there and you can have a decent time.
yeah. That's
Okay,
right.
if you could perform with anyone, any music artist, alive or dead, who would you choose?
Oh, that's
Right.
easy. Keith Urban every day. Yeah,
Keith,
yeah,
yeah.
every day. Honestly, yeah, I've been asked that before, and it's the same answer every time.
He's got a long way for a young Aussie lad.
He has,
Yeah,
and you look at it. You look at Key's story, and you look at like where I am right now. He used to play at the Normanby Hotel just across the river, and doing covers like I used to do.
yeah, yeah,
But for me, the entertainment value and the artistry, if for Keith is the thing. You see him live, and I've seen him live 4 or 5 times. Every time just sort of gets better, but the thing is, he kind of changes what he does. He changes certain things in his show, and
yeah,
I look at that and go, oh, cool. There's different lighting there, or there's a different end of show there, or there's a
yeah,
different show leader, and
yeah.
I really connect to that. So 100% Keith.
And it's not always easy when you've got a guitar and you're singing. It's not like you've got 4 or 5 people around you. Normally, if
That's
you're the
right.
principal jumping around and you're all making a show, you've
Yeah,
got to try and entertain people with this, with whatever
that's
it
right.
is that you create around yourself.
That's a good point. I think with Keith, everyone sees him as this kind of like almost a pop star. He's a country star, but he's got this celebrity
Yeah,
status.
yeah,
But actually, he's actually a guitarist, a
yeah.
very, very talented guitarist
Exactly.
first and foremost. And like, I think a lot of people who sort of start to follow him now probably may not see that, but he's an incredible guitarist.
Yeah.
So yeah, entertainment value. Yeah,
I don't think people do so. It's a bit like Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell was
good
a
point.
fantastic. Alice Cooper said, and he was a mate of his. He said he was the best guitarist he ever knew,
Yeah,
and that was all
that's
types of guitar.
there you
And
go.
we know him as a country and western sort of singer, or in a movie and all this sort of stuff. And
Yep,
so you miss that sort of thing because the industry so they sell you the way they want to make a quid,
that's right, mate.
and
Exactly
and
right.
and you discover all this sort of stuff when you check it
Kind of
out.
afterwards. Yeah. Yeah.
And well, having said that, you're a decent looking rooster. Have you thought about doing anything?
What
Uh,
modeling?
well, no, not so much modelling, but a lot of musos do acting as
Yeah, yeah.
an
Oh,
accelerant because
oh.
basically what it does is it gets you exposure and you can get your music out to a wider market.
Not acting. I think I'd be an awful actor, but hey, maybe you've inspired me, Dave. Maybe there's something out there for me.
There
I
you
don't know.
go. There
But
you go.
I mean,
Give him a
look, I
call.
mean, I mean, these days, I think you talk about. There's so much more than just getting on stage and playing. We all know
Sure,
that.
sure.
So yeah, I don't know. I haven't done any acting only because I think I'll be useless at it. But you never know.
Well, I've said to a couple of people recently, if you want a career in music, Sarah Bareilles' Yellow Brick Road in the
Yep.
Hall, that's a
Yep.
lifetime memory,
Yeah.
or Prince on stage with Jeff Lynne
Yep.
at the Rock Awards when he did his riff at the end. They didn't even know he was going to be there. He
Yeah.
did
Right.
his
Yeah.
riff at the end. He picked up the guitar, he threw it into the audience, and he walked off stage.
Yep.
That's a career. You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
have to do it once and you've got a career. So when you talk
That's a
about
good point.
acting and all that sort of stuff, you've just got to get across to the audience in a particular way and they'll do all the advertising for you. You don't need social media or anything when you get to that point because it'll just explode just from all the people talking.
That's a very good point, actually. Sometimes you just need that one game changer. Yeah.
What is the aspiration? What are the aspirations from your perspective? You know,
Uh,
you spent a long time to
yeah.
get here, as you said. What
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
are, what are some of those goals you were talking about that you'd like to fulfill?
When I've answered that question before, it's a bit of a, to be honest, a bit of a boring answer, but it's true. And that's the key word for me is longevity, right? So for me, I'm about to record my second album. In 20 years' time, I would have liked to release four, five, six, seven, eight. And the thing for me is working out. Well, okay, I'm an independent artist, and to be honest, it is a lot. It's got its pros, it's got its cons, right?
Yeah,
And to create music currently in the state, the way the music industry is, it's really hard. It's really expensive and that
sure.
kind of thing. But that's not really a reason not to. That's never been a reason for me not to do it. But for me, what I want to be doing is playing, playing the biggest show. To be honest with you, Dave, I get the biggest kick when I'm with a band and I'm rocking the hell out. That's it.
No,
So,
well, look at Paul Kelly.
yep,
I saw him on the 81 on a video, short video, or it might have been a long video on the 81 countdown special. And
yeah,
he looked like a boy, but that's 45 years ago. He's headlining all the time now,
yeah.
45 years later.
Well, there you
So
go.
so you can definitely do what you want to do. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's playing live and playing the biggest shows I can. Like when I've had the opportunity to do that, a bigger a crowd, the more I thrive. And that's not, sure, that's a bit of an ego thing with performers, you get that right, but it's not really. It's more so like it's this kind of out of body thing. I know that sounds very cliche, but it really is. I love being with the guys in my band. I love playing my music. And my goal is to be able to do that all the time. So
Yeah,
I can not just kind of, because you do shows and you get to a level where you can sustain it. And I play great shows. I'm really grateful for the shows I play,
yeah,
compared to 5 years ago, for example. But
sure.
I want to be doing the big festivals and the touring and playing my own shows. I guess ticketed shows around the country and ideally in places like I love to tour. I love to get over the UK and that kind of thing.
Sure.
But longevity and more music, I think, and great shows.
And be authentic, especially in today's world, in the TikTok world. That people have podcasts and all that sort of stuff because they get on there and they just tell whatever story they want, and it seems to resonate with people. They like the authenticity of the direct sort
You're
of
right.
commentary. So
You're right.
authenticity is a pretty big thing.
That's a good thing. I think authenticity is what creates like longevity. I think, because I mean, look, you can cut through the bullshit all the time. It doesn't last.
It doesn't. No.
But people see through it. So I think, yeah, the whole being true to yourself thing again, a big cliche, but that's the truth,
And,
mate.
and there's 100,000 odd songs come out on Spotify every day, so you've got a lot of people you compete with. So you've got to get the people that like you for you, and then they'll stick around. They'll keep turning up for
That's right,
you.
mate. I put a video out on my socials a couple of days ago saying, look, and literally the nature of it was it's tough out there. Your organic streams mean, my words were, there's thousands of songs each week. Spotify, thousands of songs. Your organic streams mean a lot. So go and stream it.
Exactly.
Go and give your artists that you like a spin because it's tough out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. A quickie just before some quick
Yeah.
fire questions. Advice. You've got, like you say, you've got 20 years. You did covers for a long time.
Yeah.
You started somewhere. You're in, well, let's say the middle, but who knows, whatever it is.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
And but you've got a lot of experience behind you. You've got a lot of connections. You've done a lot
Yep.
of things.
Yep. Yep.
You said with JMC, is it?
Yeah. I'm the head
So
of
you've got
music.
an
And, yeah.
exposure to music all the time with JMC. You
All the
see
time.
artists all the time.
Yep.
What would your advice be? Someone's just turning up, and most of them come to us and say they've got no budget, and they put it into production or whatever the situation is. What would your advice be to them today?
You're like I'm in a position now in my job. I'm sitting in a lesson room right now where guitar and vocals get taught. For me, I go back to probably my 17 or 18-year-old self, and I just made a decision. You have to make a decision and damn well stick to it. If your parents or I don't know, think you go study law or accounting or whatever, that's fine, but do what you want to do. So if you can make a decision, just if it's music, like I did, I made a decision at 17. Whether it was subconscious or not, I was like, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
So, and what have I done? I've done it. I'm
yeah,
doing it. And whether I'm in the middle,
yeah,
later on at the end of the who, like you said before, who knows? But make that decision and bloody well stick to it. That's my
Yeah,
biggest
yeah,
advice.
yeah. And
Because guess, yeah,
success is making the decision.
I
Whatever
agree.
happens afterwards, it doesn't really matter because you're turning up every day to the job that you love. And really, if you're living out of a van or you're living in Double Bay or wherever, it doesn't make much difference at all. It
That's
does
right.
it makes difference, going back to the thing that you didn't agree with me, which I accept.
Totally.
It's you get comfortable. Events are the sort of thing that you get comfortable with for a period. So if you
Yep.
move into a big house, you share it, you show it, you do all this sort of stuff. But after a month or a couple of months, it's just another house. You're just in
Yeah.
another room. You're just sitting in another, and you're looking for something else. So you've got to keep on understanding that you turn up to the day. And so if you're doing what you want to do and you're
Yeah.
turning up to the day, that's Zen.
That's
You're in,
that's that's a
you're in,
great point. That's a great point, mate. And I think the thing is when you talk about, and maybe it's at my point before about not being where you want to be. I think that's an art. That's a typical artistry
it
ego
is.
thing, right?
Everybody.
And you know what it is, Dave? It's like because you compare, right? You compare, but as you just said, then you made a good point about how it's like, okay, so say you play a festival you really want to play, or you get a playlist you really want, and you're like, cool, that's awesome. Guess what? In 2 or 3 months' time, or the next song comes out, or the next, you're going to be wanting something more than that, and
Absolutely.
and that's the nature of being driven, right?
Absolutely. But
So it's a good
but
point, and
also
yeah,
Steve Kilbey, he's a legend.
yeah,
He's in his 70s now. He's an absolute legend. And he says he still looks at the crowd, and if there's 100 people there and 99 are applauding, and one person's looking at their phone, he's saying to himself, "What aren't I doing well enough to get that one person that's looking at his phone applauding?" So they're
it's
still very
amazing, mate.
self-conscious. They're still very, judgmental. So
It's
that
amazing.
that
It's
doesn't
amazing.
change. That doesn't change. I don't think for any performer.
No, and it's such an interesting point to hear that because you hear that of really well-known artists like Steve Kilbey, and you hear it all the time, and you go, "Well, hang on a sec, I'm not alone in that feeling of."
Or
I think it's a creative. It's a
Lionel
creative.
Richie
Yeah,
said. Lionel Richie
yeah,
said his whole life, and he said this, I think, 2013 or 2014 when he was at one of those, um, lifetime achievement sort of things. His whole life, once he left the Commodores, he shit himself every time he went to perform live.
there you go.
His
Yeah,
whole life.
yeah.
And we saw, the polished guy and all the different things that he did, etc. And he was saying that's what he did every time he turned up the thing. So everyone's pretty normal. And I talk to a lot of them, and I tell you, everyone's pretty normal. So
It's vulnerability, isn't it? I think.
vulnerability, well, that's the authenticity. If you turn up
Correct.
there and you show people that you bleed like
Yep.
everyone else,
Yep.
then they
Good
say,
point.
okay, I can like this person because they're like me.
Great point.
Okay, let's get into some shorties just to finish off. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? Most people don't answer it, so you don't have to answer it.
Uh,
I think some of the druggies that go to some of the times that
oh,
they.
I got arrested when I was 21. I didn't ever thought I'd get arrested. Yeah. I was a silly 21-year-old, and I ended up in the. I'll tell you what. I won't tell you the full story, but it was an interesting night in a lockup. Put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, you spend the whole night in it.
Whole night, I was in a bad way. Put it that way, and put it this way, I've
You
never.
don't recommend it,
Don't recommend it. No, don't recommend it. Just a silly young male. Let's put it that way.
as we all were or are still. What's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
I would say music, but more so this stuff that we're talking about, Dave. Chasing what you want to do, and I think
Yeah.
because I have conversations with my colleagues and my friends in my band about this all the time
Well,
about
I
the
think you've got a
challenges.
responsibility.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's a good point. I
No,
think
I
it's
think you have a responsibility because you come across to me as somebody that can talk. And if you can talk, sure, you can perform. But if you
yep,
can talk, that could be where this leads to, in a sense. You can still do all your music, but
yep.
at some stage, there's going to be people that listen to what you say because you've got experience, etc. And maybe you could help people be a torch in people's lives to help shine on their path.
That's it. Thank you, mate. And I think for me, and then maybe that's why I've been led into education, is because I actually really enjoy having those fruitful conversations. Because the stuff I talk to my colleagues, my band members, or other artists or students, they're actually feeling the same thing I do, or I've felt it. and
Absolutely.
you got to flesh it out. So I enjoy this stuff. Yeah.
What's the thing you like most about yourself? You've got hair. That's got to be a good
I've got
thing.
hair. I think generally I'm pretty honest. I think maybe need to be honest with more with myself sometimes to be fair, but and I don't mean that. I mean that's a bit of a deeper, meaningful thing. But I mean
Honesty's good. Honesty's
honesty.
good.
I reckon honesty and being accountable. I reckon and you're not being
Takes
afraid to put your hand up when you're wrong. I reckon.
takes
Yeah.
courage,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't have it today. Okay, finally, let's just find out your current or all-time favourites. Favourite album? I know it's a shit question because you've got
Look, you
probably
know
a
what? I
hundred.
was going to say, I've got two. I mentioned the Ranch album, but I'm going to say, only because I listened to it recently, Sweet Baby James by James Taylor. I think it's an incredible album. Incredible.
There's another story. Oh my God. Favorite artist?
Oh, I'll go back to Keith for sure. It's going to be
Yeah.
Keith.
Favorite movie?
Oh, that is a hard one. First thing that comes to mind is something like Forrest Gump, I reckon. Anything with Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite place to visit? Gundawindi, home.
Home, yeah. You know what? I've gone to the Territory last few years and I love my fishing, so
Really?
I'll
Big
say.
fish?
Yeah,
No.
well, my son caught his first barramundi, little fella. But yeah, I love the territory, so wild and free. So, and anywhere there's a fishing rod, I reckon. Yeah.
God's own. God's own. Favorite venue to play?
Um,
Tamworth must be a hoot because you'd catch up with everyone.
yeah. Oh, like in terms of festivals and places, Tamworth's a good one. There's a venue in Brisbane called Lefty's Music Hall, which is always
Yeah,
fun. I don't play
Lefties.
it very often. I've only done it a couple of times, but that's a
Yep,
really
yep,
organic sort of venue.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Uh, I can hear my kids saying because they reckon I should open a pizza shop. Definitely pizza. Yeah.
Favorite drink?
Oh, that's easy. It's amber coloured. It starts with B, ends in R. There's
Lager
two
or
E's in the middle.
lager or draft?
Mate, I'm not real fussy, Dave.
Whatever, whatever.
But yeah, no,
It's just,
lager in summer, mate. Yeah.
favorite person in history, apart from me.
Yeah. Apart from you,
Yeah, that's a hard one.
that's a hard question.
Now, a lot of people talk about, they refer to Mandela or something or other, or they refer to their parents, or they talk about there's someone in their life that sort of inspired them, or they followed, or they quote or whatever.
I can't answer that one. I'd have to think about it.
I think a lot of these questions are informative for artists, for fans, because I've got screamo artists that sort of say the sound of music or something like that, and everyone sort of holds their hat.
Hmm. You know that very weirdly, there's two people that come to mind. My dad, I lost my dad when I was 18.
So I lost my mum when I was 18, so I know what
Very-
that's about.
No, sorry to hear that. And I think I was just thinking about while I'm sitting in this room, and the person that taught me guitar, my first music teacher, he he passed away very young, but he taught me my first three chords. For some reason, he just came. His name's Duncan, and he's the one that said you need to learn that Cat Stevens song. You need to. And really, my parents bought me the guitar, but if he didn't kind of go on, mate, get into it, maybe I wouldn't be singing songs today. So there
Well,
you go.
that's an important person. And do you have a tattoo?
No tattoos. I've always thought about getting one. I feel like a bit of a
Clean
wuss.
skin.
Feel like a bit of a wuss, mate.
And you
Maybe I
call
should get one.
yourself a muso.
I know, right? I know. Country, we're a bit.
That's it, Will.
I enjoyed that, Dave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Do well. Do well with the shows. Everyone going out and check out the new single and prepare for the album next year. And when you need to, yell out, bud. Kaz is a mate of mine anyway, Karen. So
Thank you, mate. Well, when the album comes out, I'll love to flesh it out with you if you're happy to. That'd be
absolutely
good.
no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Take care. All the
Thanks for your
best.
time. Take care.